faster and it seems like everything's smoother. But the first time you get an accident, you lose the entire system. And that is what I'm worried about with this push toward globalism. Yeah, it's great for the global rulers, but it sets the stage for unbelievable suffering and hardship for the ordinary people.
Mike, I agree. I listened to the whole thing, and I apologize for that interruption. I realized it was my error. I opened a browser with the United We Strike website, and it gave me this crazy feedback. And
there's your problem.
Yeah, it was me, and it reminded me of when you and I were on together last month, and we had the same thing occur, and it kept repeating over and over again. And I thought that's what was
way too many buttons in these studios. Way too many buttons in these studios.
No doubt about it. I agree with you. Break it all down, make you believe that your government, that representative government's a failure. And man, you nailed it when if you look at the example we have in Washington, D.C., that's all we've been hearing for the last couple of years. Everything is a crisis. Everything is a last minute deal. Everything is the mainstream media reporting nothing can get done. And then we end up with nothing but czars, and we end up with super committees, and we still end up with nothing done. And it's painting the picture of the only thing that the United States seems to be able to get together on is waging war.
Killing people. Yeah, killing people.
No doubt.
It absolutely is. And we seem to be targeting for our wars those nations that refuse to have private central banks.
That's exactly right.
And so they're already trying to force this private central bank model on the entire world at the point of a bayonet. And obviously, if you look at what the Federal Reserve has done to the United States of America, and you say we're going to have the same system for the entire planet, what that means is unbelievable riches for the owners of the bank and unbearable poverty for everybody else in perpetuity. Because if it's the entire world is running that way, there's no place to go. There's no alternative systems here. It's another reason I'm against globalism is because it will end all societal evolution. But I mean, if you look at like when the Federal Reserve came into being in the United States of America in 1913, at that point, the public schools all stopped teaching about the Currency Act as the cause of the American Revolution. And from then on, all we heard was Tea-Tax and Stamp Act and all this other stuff. And they never talked about the private central bank, the Bank of England, being the cause of American suffering. And it'll be the same way if they impose this global financial fascist banking system on us all, that one generation from now, every school on planet Earth will be teaching the kids this is the only possible banking system you can have. There is no other way. There has never been another way of doing banking system. There will never be another way. And the entire human race will be enslaved to the money junkies.
That's right. So enjoy your lesson at Lloyd Blankfein Elementary, and make sure you order your Jamie Dimon special using your JP Morgan debit card when you go into the cafeteria. Representative government, freedom, liberty, financial destiny, being in control of your own financial destiny, that will be gone. It'll be eradicated because the winners, they write the history book.
They absolutely do. And it's a very, very perilous time. And I know that the people who are pushing for globalism would actually welcome the collapse of Europe. I think the European Union was intended to be a subunit for an eventual assembly into the global government, but it's already falling apart and it's not working. Same thing with the attempt to form the North American Union. I think at one point there was a plan to sort of create 10 super nations and then just get them all to agree to merge. That's not working out. So now I think the idea is they're going to crash the system, and with everybody starving and hungry, the new global government will suddenly appear and say, we have food and everything to give to you. All you have to do is sign over, your freedoms and your sovereignty to the global government authority located in Jerusalem, just to pick a name out of pure random here. and that will be, life everlasting.
I could not agree with that more. Bring the world into complete and total chaos. Bring the world into the depths of depression that they've never been before, and then offer a solution. The solution will be the neo-feudal system. We're smarter than you. We're better than you. We're going to provide, 1,500 calories a day for you and a semi-warm environment for you to sleep at night as long as you fill our factories and as long as you service and worship us like we're gods. That is the absolute, I'm in 100% agreement with you on that. I want to get your take, Mike, on the events over the last 48 hours outside of Greece, which is this deal, right? It was broke from an Israeli newspaper that Netanyahu and Obama got together, and guess what? A deal is made to put the invasion or attack on Iran on hold until 2013. Now, I did a video on this last night, and I wanted to look a little bit at the propaganda machine that's been in full force against Iran for the last several years, right? We had McCain, March 12th of this year, saying sanctions aren't working, military option. December 2011, we have Panetta saying they're going to have a nuke within a year. Times of London 2009 said they're going to have a nuke within a year. We had MS News in 2011 saying within a year. Stern out of Germany saying they're going to have it in 6 months. YNetNews.com in 2011 saying they're going to have it in 2 months. Israeli intelligence said they're very, very close back in 2009. We have Romney going out saying rapid advancement in obtaining a nuclear weapon. That was over a year ago. Even Obama, 4 days ago at AIPAC, said he will use military force without a doubt if to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon. And of course, Hillary Clinton, she chimes in 2010 with the belligerence of Iran is helping our cause. All of these are thrown out the window when it comes to an election season. Keep the keep the cattle happy, keep fuel prices low until we get past the 2012 election, and then all hell can break loose, and it won't matter. And of course, Israel gets.
Well, let me come back here on that a little bit. This is the reason I thought there's likely some kind of a fix or rigging in the European economic situation, because Obama knows he cannot win re-election if the people of America are thinking about the economy or if they're thinking about the wars. And I think he wanted to put off the war because that's an election loser in a country full of war-weary people. He may change his mind now, because if Europe starts to come apart, if all the little payments under the table, if all the bearer bonds, if all of this other stuff doesn't work and Europe starts to cascade, the United States government needs to get a war going really soon so that they can blame everything on the war, or they're going to have a revolution on their hands. It's going to be, yes, we know you're starving, but there's a war on. Yes, you're all out of work, but there's a war on. There's no gasoline or electricity or anything for the American people, but there's a war on, and you've all got to sacrifice so we can win the war.
Newspeak.
And yeah, well, it's the same stuff they pulled in Big Mistake number 1 and Big Mistake number 2, and the history has always been there that when the U.S. government and Wall Street get into these hideous financial messes, they get into a world war to get out. Crash of 1907, World War I. Crash of 1929, get into World War II. Crash of 2008, we're heading into World War III. And there's something everybody needs to keep in mind. Prior to the invention of the Federal Reserve, there was no such thing as a world war.
That's exactly true. And I think you said you thought I said big mistake, and I said no, newspeak, and that's what we get. Everything you just mentioned. We're at a war, guys. We got to all chip in. We got to do our part. The evil empire, Ahmadinejad under every bed and every closet. They got one nuke. They're gonna, we have Santorum literally saying they're gonna bomb Missouri. We got to prevent him from getting a nuclear weapon. It's newspeak. The next thing you'll hear is, shut up and take your 2 minutes of hate, and then get back in line and do your part, because we got to get this evil empire under control. So I agree with that. Do you think Obama is? You could make the argument that Obama went off the script by saying, Israel, hang back. We'll give you bunker busters. We'll give you fuel.
He went off Israel's script, but his script is getting reelected. That's what every first-term president wants, is a second term. And, Obama is no different than anybody else on that regard. Do
you think, then, that if he went off script, told Israel to hold tight, well, if we look at the interest that are in the ISDA, man, they're holding all the cards. If they want to push Obama into a war, wouldn't it be really simple just to say, okay, guys, we're going to declare this a default by 30 days after we do this. We'll have pandemonium on this planet because everybody's going to be heading for the exits on sovereign debt, and we're going to be bellying up to governments to bail us out. Who knows? I mean, this could certainly be a strong arm tactic by the financial super elite. The financial